Hey Bears fans, welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into everything happening with our Chicago Bears. This Sunday night at Soldier Field, we are in for a matchup that is going to test both teams in ways that go beyond the playbook. If you're heading out to the stadium, bundle up because the forecast is calling for brutally cold temperatures, and we all know how those conditions can shape the game. Today, we are going to break down exactly how the cold could play a pivotal role in this Bears versus Rams matchup, and why it might just tilt the field in favor of our team. Looking at the weather forecast, it is clear that the elements are not going to be forgiving. The high on Sunday is expected to reach 18 degrees at peak daylight hours, but by kickoff, the mercury will have dropped significantly. We are talking lows around 7 degrees with wind chills plunging well below zero, possibly hovering at 0 degrees or even lower as the game begins. This is the kind of cold that can rattle a team not used to these conditions, and the Rams, who spend nearly all of their time in sunny Los Angeles, simply are not acclimated to weather like this. Preparing for it in practice is nearly impossible. You can't simulate 0-degree temperatures on a warm California field, and there's no indoor setup that can truly mimic the biting cold, icy wind, and frozen turf our Bears are used to playing in. The Rams face a unique challenge because this could very well be the coldest game the team has played under Sean McVay's tenure. Historically, their coldest games have barely dipped into the low teens, and even then, those numbers were without factoring in wind chill. Compare that to what they will encounter at Soldier Field, and it becomes clear how significant the adjustment is. The Rams quarterback, Matthew Stafford, is an experienced veteran, and he has performed reasonably well in sub-freezing conditions in his career, but the difference between a game in 34 degrees with snow and a game approaching 0 degrees without much protection from the elements is massive. Stafford is a pocket passer with a cannon of an arm, and he can make throws in challenging weather, but the full arsenal of mobility, scrambling, and improvisation that can mitigate extreme conditions is limited in his style. If the Bears' defense can disrupt his rhythm and force him off his spot, the elements will only amplify the pressure. Now, let's flip the coin and consider the Bears. This 2025 team has embraced the cold in a way that few squads ever manage. The coaching staff has instilled a level of preparation and mental toughness that allows the players to thrive in tough weather. Practices have been designed to simulate the punishment of late-season cold, conditioning the team to operate without heaters on the field and to play through the discomfort that comes with freezing temperatures. Quarterback Caleb Williams is a prime example of the team's advantage. He is built to handle all weather conditions. His arm strength, mobility, and durability allow him to not only withstand the cold, but to continue executing plays at a high level. Unlike many quarterbacks, Caleb can make throws on the run, adjust to the defensive pressure, and keep the offense moving even when conditions are brutal. His endurance, toughness, and consistency make him nearly element-proof, a critical factor in a game where the environment itself is a formidable opponent. Another key factor for the Bears in these conditions is their physical offensive line and the running game. Cold weather games reward teams that can impose themselves at the point of attack, control the line of scrimmage, and wear down the opposition. This Bears team has demonstrated the ability to run the football effectively, leaning on their blockers and maintaining toughness on every play. A strong ground game does more than gain yards. It sets the tone physically and mentally, especially in freezing temperatures. Establishing dominance in the trenches allows Caleb Williams and the passing game to operate more efficiently, opening up opportunities and keeping the Rams on their heels. If the Bears can restore the rhythm in their running game and capitalize on the strengths of their quarterback and offensive line, they're set to make the cold weather work in their favor rather than against them. The mental aspect cannot be understated either. Bears players are accustomed to playing in freezing temperatures week after week, learning to operate when their bodies are tested and the margin for error shrinks. Every snap, every tackle, and every play in extreme cold becomes a test of resilience, conditioning, and focus. The Rams, despite their skill and preparation, simply do not have the same accumulated experience in these conditions. While they have faced cold games in the past, none have approached the extremity of what Soldier Field will offer this Sunday. Chicago's players have acclimated to it, practiced for it, and played in it, which translates to confidence and composure once the game clock starts ticking. Special teams also come into play in these conditions. Bears kicker Cairo Santos has proven capable of handling kicks in the elements, and at home in Soldier Field, that advantage cannot be overstated. The Rams' special teams, while competent, have experienced struggles over the season, and in a game where precision and adaptation are crucial, those minor differences can influence the outcome. Field position, successful conversions, and the ability to respond to errors become magnified in extreme weather, further tilting the advantage toward the team accustomed to the environment. Overall, when examining the matchup, the cold is more than a backdrop. It is an active participant in this game. The Rams may have talent and experience, but the physical and mental preparation that the Bears bring to these conditions gives them an edge that is hard to replicate. From quarterback play to the offensive line, from special teams to overall toughness, Chicago has built a team capable of turning brutal weather into a strategic advantage. As we approach kickoff, the question isn't just who executes better, but who is better equipped to handle the punishment of sub-zero wind chills, icy turf, and the relentless bite of Soldier Field winter night. The elements favor a team forged in them, and the Bears have been shaped to thrive when most teams would struggle. As the conversation shifts deeper into what could decide this game, the physical toll of 60 minutes in extreme cold starts to loom large. This is where preparation shows up in subtle ways, not just in big highlight plays, but in how a team responds after taking a hard hit on frozen turf or after standing on the sideline while icy wind cuts through every layer of gear. The Bears have already lived through these moments this season. They have played games where the cold became a factor early and lingered throughout, forcing constant adjustments. That familiarity matters because there is less panic, less shock to the system, and more trust and routine when things start to feel uncomfortable. For the Rams, the challenge is not talent or football knowledge. It is the cumulative effect of conditions they rarely face. Over the course of a game, hands get numb, muscles tighten faster, and recovery between plays takes longer. Timing routes becomes harder to execute with precision, and communication along the offensive line can suffer when players are focused on simply staying warm. Even small mistakes can snowball in this environment. A missed assignment, a slip on the turf, or a slightly late reaction can turn into a drive-killing play. Against a Bears defense that thrives on pressure and physicality, those moments can swing momentum quickly. Defensively, Chicago is built to take advantage of discomfort. The pass rush becomes even more dangerous when linemen are forced to explode off the snap in freezing air, and footing is less forgiving. Defensive players tend to react more than they think, which is an advantage in cold weather games. The Bears have leaned into that identity, playing fast, aggressive football that feeds off crowd energy and physical dominance. When the stadium is loud and the temperature is unforgiving, opposing offenses often struggle to settle in. That environment creates opportunities for turnovers, stalled drives, and mistakes that do not always show up on a stat sheet but change the rhythm of the game. On the other side of the ball, Caleb Williams gives the Bears flexibility that becomes even more valuable in these conditions. When a play breaks down, his ability to extend it with his legs or make throws from unconventional angles keeps the defense honest. Cold weather often limits playbooks, shrinking what teams are comfortable calling. With Caleb, Chicago does not have to retreat into a conservative shell. He can still threaten defenses vertically, still attack the edges, and still punish mistakes when defenders overcommit. That versatility forces the Rams to defend the entire field, even when the weather would normally allow a defense to narrow its focus. There is also a psychological element at play that cannot be ignored. Cold weather games often become wars of attrition, where the team that mentally embraces the grind gains a quiet edge. When players believe the conditions favor them, every stop feels bigger and every successful drive feels more deflating to the opponent. The Bears have leaned into that mindset this season, turning what was once a cliché into something tangible. Instead of merely surviving the cold, they have treated it as a tool, something that works in their favor when paired with discipline and execution. That belief can show up late in games, when fatigue sets in and resolve is tested. Special teams continue to hover in the background as a potential swing factor. Kicking, punting, and coverage units are all affected by cold air and wind, and the smallest miscue can flip field position instantly. Chicago's familiarity with Soldier Field gives them a comfort level that visiting teams rarely have. The wind patterns, the turf conditions, and even the way the ball travels in the air become second nature over time. For a visiting team, especially one unaccustomed to these elements, every kick carries a layer of uncertainty. That uncertainty can influence decision-making, whether it is hesitating on a long field goal attempt or misjudging a punt in swirling wind. As the game progresses, the question becomes less about the forecast and more about endurance. Who can keep their pad level low in the fourth quarter when legs feel heavy? Who can still drive through contact when the cold has seeped into every muscle? Who can stay locked in mentally when discomfort is constant? These are the moments that define winter football, and they are often decided by preparation long before kickoff. The Bears have invested in that preparation, not just physically, but culturally, reinforcing the idea that these games are where they can separate themselves. None of this guarantees an outcome, and the Rams are far too talented to be written off. Veteran players have seen a lot in this league, and experience can go a long way when things get chaotic. But there is a difference between having played in cold weather before and being built for it right now. Chicago enters this matchup with confidence drawn from repetition, routine, and results in similar conditions. They know what it feels like to play clean football when the temperature drops, and that knowledge reduces hesitation when decisions have to be made quickly. As Sunday night approaches, the stage is set for a game shaped as much by resilience as by strategy. Soldier Field under the lights, frozen air filling the stadium, and two teams with very different relationships to the cold. The Bears see these conditions as familiar territory, something to lean into rather than fight against. The Rams see a challenge that demands rapid adjustment and mental toughness. How those perspectives collide over 4 quarters will determine whether the cold becomes a footnote or a defining force in this matchup, and whether Chicago can once again turn winter football into an advantage that goes beyond the stat sheet. Mentally, the Bears have embraced the identity that comes with winter football. It is not about surviving the cold, but using it as an advantage. That mindset shows up in body language, in the willingness to stay aggressive, and in the confidence to execute, even when conditions are far from ideal. Games like this are rarely decided by a single play. They are shaped by dozens of small battles that add up over 60 minutes. Chicago has positioned itself to win those battles through preparation, toughness, and adaptability, setting the stage for how this matchup could continue to unfold as the night wears on. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Chicago is buzzing with excitement as whispers in the league suggest that T.J. Watt, one of the NFL's most feared defensive players, could be donning the Bears jersey. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the team hint that Chicago may be on the verge of a major shakeup. Watt's arrival would instantly transform the Bears' defensive front, giving them a star presence that opponents dread. Fans have already taken to social media, flooding timelines with speculation, mock-ups of Watt in navy and orange, and bold predictions about how he could reshape the Bears' identity. Analysts note that Watt's combination of speed, power, and football intelligence makes him a rare commodity, one that could elevate the Bears to a new level of competitiveness in the league. The thought of him lining up against divisional rivals has sparked heated debates among fans and pundits alike. Would he be the missing piece to finally return Chicago to prominence? Insiders also point to the team's aggressive offseason moves, suggesting that adding what fits a broader strategy of surrounding emerging talents with proven stars. Some speculate that this could be part of a long-term plan to build a dominant defense, reminiscent of the Bears' legendary years of old. Questions remain about contracts, cap space, and the ripple effect on the locker room, but the sheer possibility of what in Chicago is enough to keep speculation at fever pitch. Even more tantalizing are the rumors about what could pair with the current roster. Veteran defenders and rising stars could find themselves benefiting from his leadership and relentless energy, while opponents may have to rethink game plans entirely. The city's sports media has already begun dissecting potential scenarios. Would what be the centerpiece of a ferocious pass rush, or would he redefine the team's defensive philosophy entirely? For now, it's all conjecture, but the potential impact is undeniable. Chicago fans are holding their breath, imagining the roar of the crowd when what storms the field, imagining a new era of Bears football marked by intensity, charisma, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Whether this rumor comes to fruition or remains in the realm of speculation, one thing is certain. The possibility of TJ Watt in Chicago has already sent shockwaves through the league and ignited dreams of glory for Bears supporters everywhere. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.